Intermediate Algebra for Statistics, Multiplication of Polynomial Expressions and Functions. Lesson Objectives: Define binomial and trinomial. Multiply polynomials. Lesson Objective: If you recall, we defined monomial, binomial, and trinomials in a previous video. So let's review. A monomial means that the polynomial has one non-zero term. Here's some examples. 4x to the 7th is a monomial. It's one term. X cubed is. Negative 9x squared y cubed is a monomial, and also negative 3 is. Binomials means that there is two non-zero terms. So here's three examples. 4x squared minus 9, 5x cubed plus x squared, and negative 2y plus 5. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction. Trinomials, there's three non-zero terms. We have two examples. 5x cubed minus 3x plus 6 is a trinomial, and 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 is a trinomial. Lesson Objective: Product property for exponents. If n and m are counting numbers, then x to the m times x to the nth equals x raised to the m plus n. So in words, to multiply two powers of x, we keep the same base, x, and we add the exponents. Now let's look at an example of why that's true. Imagine we have 2 raised to the third power times 2 raised to the second power. Both these have the same base, 2. This has an exponent of 3. This has an exponent of 2. By the definition of exponents, 2 raised to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2. We have 3 2's. And 2 to the second power means 2 times 2. Now from this we can see that this is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 to the 5th power. The base stayed the same, 2, and then we have a total of 5 factors of 2. And of course 5 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. 2 raised to the 5th power is equal to 32. Now this example can be verified using a graphing calculator. If we have 2 raised to the third power times 2 raised to the second power, that's equal to 32. But so is 2 to the 5th, and so is 2 raised to the 3 plus 2 quantity. All these are equivalent. Example 1. Find the sum and the products for x plus x and x times x. Now in the previous video, when we are adding like terms, we add up the coefficients. So in this case, this has a coefficient of 1 and this has a coefficient of 1. This expression is different. This is now x times x. So there's a different set of rules. So let's do the solution. X plus x is 2x. We add the coefficients together and we bring the x along. If we do x times x, we multiply the coefficients. 1 times 1 is 1, but we have to also add the exponents. So when we see an x, this is understood to have an exponent of 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Let's do another example. Find the product 4x cubed y squared times negative 2xy to the 6th. So product means we multiply. So here we take our coefficient 4, we multiply it by the other coefficient, which is negative 2. Next we take x to the third times our other base of x, and then we take the next base, which is y. We're going to take y squared and multiply it by y to the 6th. So here we have our coefficients multiplied. Here we're multiplying our variables that have a base of x and a base of y. Now when we multiply like bases, we add the exponents. So this becomes 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. 3 plus 1 is 4, so we have x to the 4th. And 2 plus 6 is 8. We have y to the 8th. So this is simplified, and this is our final answer. Example 3. Find the product, negative 4x times the quantity 6x plus 3. And number 2, 7p squared t times the trinomial 3p squared t minus 2pt squared plus 5t cubed. Solution. Using the distributive property, we take negative 4x and we multiply it by both terms. Next, we multiply the coefficients. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24, and x times x is x squared. We take negative 4, we multiply it by 3, we get negative 12, and there's only one x. So it's negative 12 times x. For number 2, again, we distribute 7p squared t to all three terms. Now we simplify each of these three terms. So 7 times 3 will be 21. P squared times p squared is p to the 4th. T times t is t squared. For the next one, negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. P squared times p is p to the 3rd. And t times t squared is t cubed. And the last one, 7 times 5 is 35. P squared times t to the 4th. All three of these terms have different bases, so we can't add or subtract them. We are finished. Multiplication of two polynomials. The process. To multiply two polynomials, multiply each term in the first polynomial by each term in the second polynomial. Then combine like terms if possible. So here we have a binomial times a binomial. So we would do the distributive property for a. So a multiplies every term in the second polynomial. So we have a times c plus a times d. Next, we go to b and we distribute b to the second polynomial. So we have b times c plus b times d. As this one stands, all these are different terms, so we can't combine them, and we're finished. Now another method of multiplying binomials is what we call the FOIL method. So we take the first term in each, that would be the first term in this binomial and the first term in this binomial. So that's called the first. That's where the f comes from. Next would be the elder, which is a times d. That's what the O stands for, elder. The I is inner, so these two terms in between, and then L is last, the last variable b times the last variable in the second one, d. So first would be a times c, elder would be a times d, inner would be b times c, and then last would be b times d. Example 4. Find the product. Quantity x plus 4 times x plus 8. Number 2. 5p minus 6w times the quantity 3p plus 2w. Solution. So for the first one, we're going to take x times x plus x times 8. Then 4 times x plus 4 times 8. X times x is x squared. X times 8 is 8x. 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times 8, which is 32. We have like terms with 8x and 4x. So this simplifies to x squared plus 12x plus 32. Number 2, we take 5p times 3p, 5p times 2w, Then we take negative 6w times 3p and negative 6w times positive 2w. 5p times 3p is 15p squared. 5p times 2w is 10pw. Negative 6w times 3p is a negative 18pw. And negative 6w times 2w is negative 12w squared. Next thing, we want to see if there's any like terms. So this term and this term are like terms. So we can combine them. 10pw minus 18pw is a negative 8pw. So our final answer is 15p squared minus 8pw minus 12w squared. Thanks for watching.